When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work.
Welcome back to another episode of the Michel Matters Podcast. I'm Jocks Michelle.
And I'm Jackie Michelle.
Welcome back.
Hey, guys.
All right, this is a pillow talk.
Yes.
Social distancing edition.
We're not social distancing.
Oh, we haven't been social distancing.
But we had planned for an extension, or at least I had planned an extension of our dating talk. But because of social distancing, it was like, that's probably not smart.
Yeah.
Even though we've had guests at our house since they told us not really. To. Yeah, but it would be like one at a time or two at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've mainly been home. But before that, you were in California.
Yes.
So you started your new job.
Yeah, I started a new job. They sent me to Riverside, California.
Why you have to say it like
because every time I think of Riverside, because there's nothing there really, but I always go back to if you watch Chappelle's show, there's a Wayne Brady episode, and in part of the episode he screams out Riverside. I won't say the rest of the line, but he screams out Riverside in the drive-by shooting. Okay. So yeah, that's Riverside though.
Yeah,
that's Riverside.
It was depicted correctly.
Kind of, sort of.
I mean, it's Wayne Brady, so
exactly, that's the thing. but yeah, so I went there. It was a decent little trip.
Yeah. How'd you like California?
They always call sunny California. It rained every single day I was there. So I kind of want to redo.
Yes. All right. Next time you go, I'll definitely go. Whenever that is. Yeah. So even during that time, it was kind of like should you go? We're not sure.
It was at just sort of like right at the outer edge of the panic.
Yeah.
So I tried to get out of the trip, but my boss was like, "No, it's the flu is more dangerous." And
I don't think you tried.
I did. I definitely tried.
I don't think you did.
All right.
I think you wanted to go.
No, I promise. All right, here's the thing. I did make an effort to not go, but I also didn't make an effort, like, once he kind of... Because I feel like he was calling me soft, like, that I wasn't going to go.
Yeah, like, get over it.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, bet. So I went. Funny thing is, though, because I should have been catching a flight to Austin tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But...
And I had my flight, too. I was going to go. So I had already cleared out my week and all that. But yeah, it wasn't a wise decision.
Yeah, my boss is in Austin, and as I was flying back to Miami, he was sending an email canceling his flight to Miami because he didn't think it was safe to travel. Funny thing is, I asked, and it was safe for me, but not safe for him.
Yeah.
Funny how that worked, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I made it back safe and sound.
Yeah. You didn't have a cold, so
yeah, and I kind of social distanced while I was there.
Yeah, and I gave you wipes to wipe down.
Yeah, and when I was there, I wasn't like messing with people. I go to a spot, come right back.
Right.
Only thing, like, I didn't go to In-N-Out. I know that's one of those California things that you're supposed to do. I didn't go to In-N-Out.
Yeah.
I drove by it, looked sketch. I went to Chick-fil-A. It is what it is.
Yeah. So was it when you came back? No. It was before you left. We went on a triple date.
Yes, that was right before I left.
Yes. And that was interesting. We hadn't been on a triple date in a long time. I guess Chicago.
Okay, if that counts.
Yeah, that counts. But as far as like in Miami, we tried a new spot. So we'll highlight them as a business in a future episode.
Okay.
Because we know that you probably can't go right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. It was kind of interesting because we were talking about dating. We've been talking about dating this whole time. So, just, it's cool to see everybody dressed up and going somewhere. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a basic, get together. It wasn't bold enough. It was like a nice little date.
Hang out at the house type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a nice restaurant, but we'll get into that later. And then just chaos, right? So we had guests. We had your cousin.
Yeah, I don't want to call them guests. It's family.
Yeah, we had your cousin, but it was just...
in back-to-back weeks.
It was back-to-back. So we had your cousin and her friend come for spring break. Mm-hmm. And then during that whole trip was when, like, the outbreak
That's when it really started to, like,
getting crazy.
What are you guys doing? And then...
yeah, and then, like, her school was like, yeah, so...
don't come back.
Don't come back.
And then the next week, which was, even more like, hey, stay away.
Yeah.
Her sister came.
Right.
For spring break. But I mean.
But she left early.
Yeah. Because then it got real crazy.
Yeah, it got really real. She was supposed to leave Saturday, which was yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She ended up leaving Thursday because her dorm was like, hey, so she goes to school in the city. And her dorm was like,
the city is New York City.
New York City, yeah, sorry. Hey, everybody come clear out your dorm rooms. If you don't come, we'll ship your stuff to you, which she didn't trust.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if the hospitals run out of space, they'll probably use that. Mm-hmm. Or also, like, use that to quarantine people. Yeah.
Ooh. I think more than likely it's going to be for, like, medical.
Yeah. So they just wanted the students out. It's been a lot of craziness. Yeah. And of course that's not what we're talking about in this pillow talk, but it's happening. Yeah. So it would be crazy if we didn't mention it. How have you been during this quarantine?
It's not quarantine. I keep stopping myself from saying it.
Okay, how have you been during this
social
break?
Distancing?
Yes.
I've been struggling. I ain't gonna lie. I'm an introvert, but at the same time, I need human interaction. Mm-hmm. So not being around people is starting to become bothersome. I love you, but I need somebody else to talk to,
right?
To look at, to laugh at, to feed off their energy. Because that's just kind of how I am. I feed off other people's energy.
Yeah.
So this has been rough.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to zoom in and talk to Jogs,
please, please, I'll take it.
I'll pop in and say hi, but I'm having a great time.
Can't do it. I'm setting up play dates. I'm trying to set up play dates with my friends and stuff. Like,
but this is, I don't know. Like since October, I've been kind of in this space part time. So for me, it's like, okay, cool. I'm home again. Like, it's not that weird, but I do have moments where, and even before all of this happened, I had moments where I'm like, okay, let's go outside now. Let's go ride my bike for like 20 miles and see people. But, I've been okay. I feel like there's only so many shows we can watch, snacks we can eat. We've been swimming.
Yeah, healthy snacks with Jackie.
Yes.
So. But
very, very healthy snacks. Swimming.
I ain't have gluten in about 3 weeks. Nah, but like I'm typically the person like, if you have to choose like, oh, you want to go out or you trying to stay home, I'm like, I'd rather stay home. Mm-hmm. But that's because my typical days are filled with people. So
the next date night is going to be bomb. Like,
it better be.
It's gonna be. And our anniversary is tomorrow. So it's like,
oh man,
we can't do anything.
I didn't forget, but it just don't hit the same.
It don't
hit the same. Tomorrow, or well, when you guys hear this, it's probably going to be today.
Yeah.
Is going to be our 15-year dating anniversary.
It's crazy.
Give or take, plus or minus sometime. But yes.
Yeah, and we were gonna do something. And then we were like, yeah, this is probably not the best time to do that.
Yeah, so.
But yeah.
We're going to celebrate here in our own way, I guess.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, What else have you been doing? Reading? No,
I haven't read a thing. I have not been productive because I cannot be productive at home. That's the other thing for me.
Well, you haven't been productive as far as like work. Not work, because you've been working from home, but
barely.
Yeah, barely.
If I'm going to be honest.
As far as work, but we've been productive as far as like, we don't know how long this is going to be. Yeah. We don't know what life as we know it is going to look like in a few months. So even us, we've been, rebudgeting, reworking some things, planning. I feel like this week will be the true test run of this, like, being home all the time. Because we were still out and about.
I'm still going to be out.
Probably, but
I'm going to try. I can't do it.
You just shouldn't be.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we've still been out. Like, I've gone to grocery runs.
They're still going to let us go to the grocery store, though.
No, of course, but everybody's at the grocery store.
Yeah, because they know where else to go.
That's where the germs are. So, but yeah, so I know for a lot of people this is not the easiest time, and we might be like joking, but we don't know how to feel our feelings sometimes.
Yeah, we did church from home today.
Yeah,
that was different.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't see how.
I don't like it.
People get used to that, but we did that. But a lot of TV, which kind of leads us into a guilty pleasure of mine. The show Love is Blind.
Yes.
With all the dating talk that we've been doing.
You got me into that show.
Yeah, hopefully you guys watched the single guys and the single ladies episodes. If not, go back and check those out. Yeah. I think they were really good. Not being biased, but I think the guys' chat was like super dope.
I think it was just super deep.
I don't think it was just deep though. I think it was just
and long because you never really hear guys
dig in
talk
like
about
that.
it. Yeah. So like for the girls, I was like, we hear
y'all do
women all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's have a little fun with it. But with the guys, I was like, nah, we can't be so surface level, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, I took personal pride in that, and
like I took care of the woman episode, and you took care of the
yeah. I take personal pride in. I think there's a lot of ways that us as men we can do better, and just step up. And I think there's gaps that we could fill. So I really took pride in that episode. So I hope everybody go check it out.
Yeah,
I think it's one of my favorite episodes. Probably one of the best episodes.
So what were some things that you discovered from, because you haven't dated. We both haven't really dated.
I was gonna say, what do you mean,
what were some things that you took away from men dating today that you were like, oh, I didn't think about it like that?
What did I take? I think the idea of where and when and how to date women or approach women
or meet people
is a bigger obstacle than I've considered in a long time, because the older we get, the more limited our range is, I feel like. And as far as like where to pick up that sounds crazy, but
pick up a woman
to make acquaintance with a woman, right?
Yeah.
And then it's okay once you find out where, it's like how. I
think it's also, and we've known this. I feel like this was always our approach. One of the men said that they are just running their race type thing. Mm-hmm. If you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing and not just locking yourself up in the house, then you are bound to be in the position where you're supposed to be for that to happen. If that's supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that was a good takeaway. It's not necessarily like picking up somebody.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, my intention is I would love to meet someone and I would love to, date, but I still have things to do. Mm-hmm. And so while I'm working or whatever, I might meet this person, or while I'm going to the Bed Bath & Beyond, like it might she might ring me up, or you never know. Like,
yeah,
it's just stuff like that. So I think that was a good example.
Yeah. I also took away that it's once you do start dating, like or talking, I still struggle with that. Even all these conversations, it has not been made clear to me.
Yeah, because I think everyone defines.
Yeah, what is talking, what is dating, and yada yada. But once you do start, just the roles in that and the roles in dating, I think some guys are more up to the task of it than they get credit for. I feel like a lot of women feel like guys just kind of sit on their hands. But I don't know, from the guys that were here, I mean, unless there was gas in me, I was like, okay.
What do you mean by sitting on their hands?
Like, I feel like, women like, oh, like, take me on a date. Like, coming over and Netflix and chilling is not a date. Like,
but I think we've also heard examples from them that it's like, if it is like this, he's just not that into you.
That's a fact.
Like 20 dates, you might be wasting your time, and I might be wasting it for you. Like, Yeah. So I think as long as people can not avoid signs, because we've also talked about that, that would be useful.
And I feel like there's, there also gets to the point where there's, it's a lot of personal responsibility. Like, a lot of people, a lot of things that happen to people, they let happen to them. And I just feel like, there needs to be a lot more personal accountability in dating. Because I think I asked everybody, it's like, where do you think you've fallen short in the dating process? Because it can't all be the other gender, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think there's a level of like, the Haitian says like, met femme sous, met garçon sous. Like, you gotta own up to what your responsibility is.
Yeah.
And the whole thing.
I think one thing that was also made clear in both episodes was that men don't really approach women like that.
Yeah, I think that's real.
And like, we didn't really get to the root of like why. Like,
we had the conversation during the week.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about just us and.
Yeah, us.
I feel like there's no right or wrong way. So I feel like because there is no right or wrong way, it's a weird space where you almost like double dutch. Like, do I hop in? Is this the right? And a lot of people maybe psych themselves out of doing it. Because a lot of women, like, they'll go places and, they don't want to be bothered, or because that is the sentiment you get a lot of times. Like, women don't want to be bothered, but at the same time, it's like, oh, but why won't he come talk to me? It's because you seem standoffish.
Well, maybe you're just not reading it right, because
that's what I'm saying.
The only way you'll know is if you do it, and so that's a word.
It's not that it's a word. I feel like that's easier said than done, because
but that's life.
Public rejection is real. Like that is now.
But here's the thing. I feel like people know when they're into each other. Like, when it's like, okay, I'm looking at you. You keep looking this way. Okay, you're looking at me, and now I'm looking at you. Now I'm looking away. Now it's like, okay, am I supposed to? Are you coming? Or what's happening here? Mm-hmm. Like, when really it's like, just do it. Like, maybe she was looking at somebody behind you, but you're not gonna know unless you go over there.
All right, so in my own person, like, yes, I would encourage men to go for it, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I also do understand the hesitation. Is it acceptable? No, I guess eventually because it's hard going up to someone you don't know. And I think that's super understated. Like, women like, man, just do it. But that there's a level of like, it's easier to say than to do. Like, easier said than done. Like, you say just go up to someone, but it's not that simple. It's not that easy.
So then do you think that's why an experiment like Love is Blind would work? Because you don't have to necessarily go up to... You're not seeing the person.
Okay, yes. And that is why internet dating and apps are so effective, because it takes a level of the uneasiness out of it. So you can communicate a lot without having that physical interaction at first, which can be... Don't
you feel like that's like crucial though?
It is.
Like there is uneasiness in relationship. Like once you make it official or whatever.
But most people, I would say, don't meet that way. They meet more organically than I walked up to her at a bar. And that's why it's like, yes.
But a lot of people do meet that way.
Successfully though?
Yeah.
Maybe. There may be, but I feel like I see it less and less now, because there is a more painless way to do it.
Because it's just easier to log in.
And it's easier to get a no through a message than for someone to be like, nah, blood in my face. You know what I mean? Like,
but based on the people we had on this couch, the majority of them were not on apps or whatever. Like, yeah, you know, DMs here and there. Mm-hmm. But the majority of them didn't take that step.
I think the girls...
Yeah, okay. But if you look, it was 6 people.
Okay.
Only 2 of them had used apps.
Okay. All right.
So the majority of them didn't.
Okay.
So a lot of so people are still craving that.
They are, but I feel like it's usually more organic. It's not. I'm going after someone that I met one time at a random place.
It's like,
it's typically I've seen this person multiple times, and then now I built up the. Okay, I think we're okay enough that I could have this conversation, and it won't be as brutal, or as out of nowhere. Because I feel like most women, one, with reason, are skeptical about a random man coming up and talking to them. I wouldn't encourage any woman I know to talk to a guy they met randomly.
But why not?
It's not safe.
Well, I'm not gonna go to a corner, but we're just having a little chit chat now, and then we can further this conversation later.
It's a little easier to get your message across with someone that you know, or you are at least
of course
acquainted with. That's what I'm saying.
Ideal.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But okay,
I think women want a man to like walk up to them circles, no matter where.
Even in those circles, we find that you could be in a circle, and you could both be interested, or one person be interested, another person I don't know. Mm-hmm. And you still not coming to talk to me about it. Like, okay, at that point, then yeah, okay. Then that happens way more than it should.
Maybe. I wouldn't know. Maybe. It could.
You wouldn't know.
What do you mean? No.
You don't have friends that are like, oh, like, y'all, why hasn't this become a thing? Like, in the back of your mind?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. But I also feel like some men are also taking notes and figuring out if that's what they even really want.
Yeah. And
that's one of the good things of getting to kind of know someone without already having like spoken to them like that. You can kind of see who they are for who they are. Like, the person you're talking to is going to put on a mask or kind of give you some bit of a character. Mm-hmm. But if you kind of get to know them before that, then that's better. And I feel like at least the guys here, that's what a lot of them seem to be doing. They're like, okay, I've seen her a few times. She seems to be this type of person, whatever. We've hung out in group settings.
Right.
I kind of see what she's like. Yes, that's for me. No, that's not for me.
Yeah, even one of the guys was like, okay, she might be the nerd, or she might be, you know. And I'm just like, that's interesting that you have to assess all of that first before you even, you know.
Because some people know,
I get it,
certain personalities that they don't want to be with,
or
don't mix well with them.
But my thing is, you don't know the personality
off the first time you met somebody. Yeah. That's why it's hard to just walk up to random people.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do it. I don't think I would ever just walk up to a random person like that. I think I would be more of like, just an organic person. Just the way I meet people in general. I'm not. I always say I'm not. What is it? I'm not friendly. I'm not nice. I'm friendly, or one or the other. I don't. I'm not friendly. I'm nice, or whatever. Because yeah, I'm not friendly. I'm not friendly. I don't go up to random people like, hey, how you doing? I'm Jocks. Like, no. But I'm courteous. I'll be like, hello, whatever. But once I get to know you, yeah, we cool. Like, I kick it. But I'm not. I think friendly people just can go up to anybody and start, talking and being. I'm not like that. Like, if I don't know you, I'm not getting like close to you like that. I'll be nice or whatever. I'll say hello. If you say a joke, if it's funny, I'll laugh. If it's not funny, I won't laugh. Yeah. But I don't think everyone has a personality to be able to talk to random people like that.
Right.
But I do think, yeah, if you feel like there may, be something you want to pursue there, yeah, I'd definitely go, to start some type of interaction. But going back to Love is Blind, I think that the show in its totality is okay, it's rushed. It's a TV show.
So rushed.
It's a TV show, so yeah, it's super rushed. They try to get you married in a month, but I stand by the social experiment of it, of talking to someone and getting to know them even before you see them, is a plausible. I think it could work.
But do you think, in the long run, for those couples that have last, I guess, that are making it work now, because it's been a year and a half since they shot this, and have gotten married or whatever, do you think in the long run that would hurt? Do you feel like something is missing in the foundation because it was rushed, or because it was even taped? For one couple, right? Because you start off in a pod, and if you guys don't know the concept of the show, it's just go on Netflix. Yeah, you got time. Watch it. You have nothing but time right now. So because everyone starts off in a pod, in a room by themselves, you're talking with a wall in front of you.
You're talking between a wall.
Yeah, with a wall between you.
Yeah.
This one couple actually, or two of the couples, took that same way of communicating once they started living together. And I was like, is this now the foundation for your relationship? I don't know, that's weird to me. Okay, so we're going to have deep conversations, or we're having a problem. I'm going to go into the kitchen. And they didn't really flesh it out like that, but they did it without really knowing that they did it. One girl was in the kitchen, the other guy was in the bedroom, and then they were having a difficult conversation that way.
So
does that mess with the foundation of it all? Because
I think, one, it could go so many different ways, but
we can't even talk face to face.
Maybe I don't think that's necessarily a recipe for complete success, but I don't judge how people communicate in that way if it works.
Okay.
And I also feel
it didn't for those couples. Well, for one of them, it did.
Yeah. So, I think as far as okay, the part that it was rushed, yes, there's definitely some foundational pieces that are probably missing, for a married couple. But I also feel like there are people who date forever and don't get as far as some of these people got, because that's one thing about when you don't have the physical aspect of it, and all you can do is talk, you can probably get somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
And that was one of the things that they talked about in the reunion, was that there's a lot of conversations that you don't see. They had way more conversations than what we saw on TV.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about people who all you did was talk for days or weeks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could lay down some.
You know what it is too? Why it was so rushed? You don't have any other distractions.
That's what I'm saying.
You're literally there just to date. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like just the purpose is to meet your spouse. You don't have your phone. You're not talking to your family. You're not on social media. You're not at work.
You think about how productive you could be
as far as dating.
Is anything. If you're somewhere to do one thing, that's it. Yeah. You don't have a phone. You don't have nothing else to really distract you. It's just you here to accomplish a task. I'm not saying it's the best way, the best model. It's an interesting but I think it's an interesting experiment. I definitely think it. The thing about apps is that it's the reverse of Love is Blind. The model of you see somebody first, you make a decision based on someone's appearance and a quick byline story of them of, oh, I like to go on long walks.
I love chess.
You know what I mean? Versus, I don't know what you look like, and all I have is hours of conversation with you, and I can make a decision based off that. And I feel like I'd rather go for the second. To me, it's a more sustainable model, because the thing about like looks are always important, right? When I ask people, and I think I did a podcast, what do you look for in a woman? Do not tell me looks, because I know that. Like, that is a given. But I also feel like good people look better, or people that you're compatible with look better. Like, yes, there are certain things that you that are attractive. Yeah, like facial features are not the only things that make people attractive. Like, there are people who
attractive. Oh. That's the Miami accent. That's what I'm talking to you. That's what I tell you about. But it's fine. Keep going.
But
you were on a roll.
Thank you. You should know how to ruin a good thing.
Okay, so yeah.
I was saying that there are people with very, I guess, aesthetically pleasing facial features or bodily features, and then you get to know them like, oh, you're trash. Yeah. And then they kind of even start to like, you're not even as pretty as I thought. Yeah. And then you meet somebody who's, maybe not what your quote unquote type is, or they don't meet, the standard of beauty that is set for us by magazines and TV. But man, they're such a good person. It's like, dang, that little crooked smile not that bad, or I can deal with that. Like, I kind of actually like that about you. That actually makes you more personable or whatever. Like, we all know that feeling or that idea of how a good person just, it's something about them. It radiates.
Quote unquote good.
Yeah. But I
feel like everybody has to have a quirk about them anyway. Like, you can't be too perfect. Like,
there's a lot of people put on that perception though.
No, you can't.
Okay.
What?
I'm just saying, there are people who I feel like try to portray those
perfection?
Yeah,
like as far as looks?
That, and just even like the way they present themselves.
Like Susie Homemaker type perfect?
Or like Instagram perfect.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I feel like that's more common.
Yes, that's true. But I feel like in this day and age, yes, we have those Instagram lives, but then, like, the Instagram lives that we see. Mm-hmm. But we all have to know, like, it's not just that.
Well, there are some people
those are just like
who strive to give that. And that would annoy me.
Seconds. That's just, like, in total, maybe 5 minutes of your life.
Yeah, it is. But it's just something about it that just feels, like, so forced. And I don't know, maybe that's why I don't post as much on Instagram, or like, I can't be that fake. It's just pointless to me. And I also feel like it just gives off a real, like, it's just unnatural sense of perfection that people can curate on Instagram or on social media, just in general. Yeah. That things are always picture perfect. Yeah. That
it's not.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. I'd rather not. You'd rather be on Twitter.
But I give you my thoughts, my real thoughts, not my curated thoughts. They're censored, but they're not curated to make you think everything's perfect. I definitely don't like spit everything I think. because that's just not healthy.
So back to Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Because tangent. Who do you think is your favorite couple, I guess? What even got you to click on that?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I really don't know.
Or do you... Okay, so do you have a favorite couple?
I don't. I have a couple that I don't really like that a lot of people like, but I won't get into it today.
Why don't you like them, though?
I just said I'm not going to get into it. It's not that I don't like them.
I didn't think you didn't like them.
All right, fine. I don't care for them the way other people care for them.
I think people care for them just because it's a show.
And
when
you say a show, I have a very, I think it's an ideal that people have, and they like that ideal.
I meant like a show, like on Netflix.
No, I know.
On a network.
No, I know.
But I think it's also, that's another thing that worries me, or I'm not in a relationship, so I don't necessarily care. But if I was a part of that experiment, and that's how we met, that would worry me, that the cameras are not always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So, we've been filming all this time, and now we're on a press run for a whole year. What happens when all of that is gone?
When it's done?
Yeah, and people are not # goals, love is blind, or whatever. What is the, is it still real?
I feel like...
Or has it always been real?
I feel like even outside of TV show relationships, that's just a regular relationship thing. What happens after the honeymoon stage is over and we start having real conversations or real arguments? Is your mask gonna come off? Is the real you gonna come out?
Yeah.
I think that's...
Yeah, because if I know I'm being filmed and I'm gonna be on Netflix, you may not see me, but I'm still going to present my best self.
But I feel like
even the viewers.
I feel like that's in regular relationships. I feel like even though there aren't cameras, they know the dating phase is just one long job interview.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. It's just one long job interview. And then what happens when you get home and you find out you got a job and you can take the tie off? Then what? Yeah,
after a year, you're been here for a while. I already know what I'm doing.
Benefits kicked in, past the probationary period. I'm good. What happens then? I feel like you can't escape that part of it. Cameras or no cameras.
Right.
But yeah.
What else?
I'm trying to think. Because I'm trying to think, how do we follow up the dating series? I know you kind of have an idea. I don't know how much you want to...
Oh, as far as to tie a bow on it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's one more episode that I
have in mind.
Yeah, I have in mind. We would like to obviously see what dating is like for married couples.
Okay.
How do you keep that date life alive?
The spark.
Yeah, after that, I wouldn't call it a spark.
Okay.
But because the spark dulls after a while.
Okay.
But yeah, how do you continue to date once it's okay, we've been together for a while?
Yeah.
So, I mean, not even just married couples. It could be just you've been dating for 4 years or whatever. Or, yeah. So I'm trying to, I have some couples in mind.
Okay.
It's just going to be one episode. So we'll see how we piece that together and when we can even get that together with this social distancing. Might have to do a Zoom. I don't know what we're going to do.
Yikes. Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited about it. And obviously... we're going to have more episodes to come. But yeah, I just wanted to come in, talk about dating, see what you guys had thought. I've been getting a lot of feedback, mainly from women, obviously, about the women and the men's episode.
What feedback have you gotten? Because somebody asked me and I was like, I haven't heard anything, really.
Yeah. Well, okay, so one of my friends, one of my female friends also said, men just don't approach her.
Yeah.
That's just a thing.
Tired of hearing that.
And it's crazy because we were just talking about it as far as from the church standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You would think we're all in the same environment.
Mm-hmm.
We typically run in the same circles, not all the time, but I see you on Tuesday nights or whatever, Bible study nights, small group, whatever it is that y'all have. But like when I'm out in the streets, people will talk, but then when I'm in church, people don't. So it's like you would think, okay, why not talk to someone here?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's one of those, like, I just see you as a sister.
It could be.
In Christ, but it's like, don't you just see all Christians as sisters and brothers in Christ? Isn't that the way that you look at that? Until you start building that connection.
I feel like there's a lot of ways you can go with that.
Because I think we even got into like further down, like, okay, you're, not to make it sound cultish, right? But like, say you meet somebody at church, like, then you have, like, your family goes to this church or whatever, your family goes to this church. Mm-hmm. Like, we all have kids and your kid marries my kid. Like, obviously that's not how it always happens, but it's like, what a blessing if that does happen like that. Because, like, I know your family. You know my family. Mm-hmm. I know how you're raising your kid. Like, so, I don't know. It would just kind of keep, multiplying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of talked about that. And she was just saying it was just very interesting. Just guys don't approach people. And you just have to... I'll say what she said. She said it's a lack of confidence because it's a lot of because it's when you look around, it's mainly women in the church, and it's mainly the women that are doing things and serving and all that stuff. That it's like men sometimes are intimidated. So that was another conversation, but I don't know if people are ready for that. You want to dive in?
Nope.
What? Go ahead. Be real.
I think, okay, the issue sometimes is that I feel like you can find two sides of this coin, right? You can find that there are some women who feel like they get approached too much, and there are some women who feel like they don't get approached enough, right?
You're talking about in life?
Yeah, just in life, right? And I also feel like, you know how, I don't know, maybe we're having this conversation by ourselves, or I can't remember if people were there, but sometimes there are signs that he's just not that into you, or it could be a lot of like, I don't think that most men just, especially men that are comfortable with women, like, don't go out of their way to speak to women. It could just be they don't like y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could.
But that's not the reason for that's not every case.
I think most men, when they do like legitimately like a woman, they'll say something to her. I don't think most men are like shy, but I also feel like there's a comfortability. If a guy sees you every day for like a year and he don't say nothing, he don't like you.
Okay.
I don't think he's scared of you.
But that wasn't the thing. It was just like, just the fact that some godly men would be intimidated by some godly women. We were just talking about that part of it. I get the whole, if he don't like you, he not going to talk to you. Got it. But like,
you think because they feel like the women maybe are more spiritually led than them, that they're afraid to talk to them?
I think that could be the case for some people. If they don't feel like they're mature enough.
Maybe. I don't
spiritually.
Maybe.
I don't always know that to be the case.
Yeah, I don't in my mind I can't like go ahead and say I see a pattern there, because I personally haven't seen a pattern there. Mm-hmm. But we could get into that another time. But
yeah, I'm not saying that that's what I've seen. But that's something that
I don't think there's a pattern there.
Bring up.
I think
and then another thing is like there are no men in church anyway.
That's different. I think that's more of an issue for sure. it's harder for women in the church to find good men because I think there is a shortage of good men in church. That is a fact. But
why is that a fact?
Because it's just look at the numbers, church statistics.
Yeah,
there's like women outnumber men in church like 3-1 or something like that. It's disproportionate. So I agree. That is more of an issue than the fact that maybe men feel intimidated by certain women in the faith.
Yeah, because if anything, I would think that would be a turn on to a Christian man.
Maybe.
No?
Yeah.
Like, don't you want a woman in her
Yes, word? Because I don't want to get it confused with like I think there's something there sometimes with successful women who could be intimidating. Mm-hmm. Because there is something there where it's like there's money involved, there's like power involved, but I think a lot of relationships, the man will tell you that my wife is like the prayer warrior, or that, you know, my wife is more passionate or whatever. Like, I think that's across the board. That. What?
Like men saying that their wife is more passionate?
I think there's a level of that a lot. Like, I think of a lot of prominent figures, at least in my own personal life, of men in the church, and they might tell you that their wife is stronger, or if not as strong as them, when it comes to the faith. That, or that, especially the more,
I would say discipline.
Maybe. Okay, maybe that.
I think that's the word that I would use. Because
when I think of prayer warriors, I think of women. And that could be a quote unquote spiritual thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. And most people are used to their mother being the spiritual leader in their household. So I think a lot of people find comfort in that, but that could just be.
But then that's also where we need to wake up.
But I said that.
No, yeah, for sure.
That's kind of how I started. I think there is a shortage of good black men in the household.
Okay.
Or in the church.
In the church. In the household. So how... So what do we do to like combat that?
That's a whole nother episode, a whole nother topic.
They're not ready?
They're not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. But no, that's a whole nother podcast episode.
Yeah.
But there is something there for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys, if you haven't already watched Love is Blind, let us know what you think about it. Let us know if you would be in an experiment like that.
Yeah.
If you think that dating right now is kind of like an experiment like that. And yeah, and what your thoughts are on dating. We will just be here in the house. So you guys stay safe. Do you have any other like tips for this period in time? I was gonna say if you do have like prayer requests or whatever, like
we could do that on the Instagram page. Follow us on Instagram at Michel Matters. I think we need to follow more people and build up our following.
Yeah, we will.
I'll work on that this week.
Oh, okay. Social media manager.
But yeah, I mean, now is a better time than ever. Let's interact. Let's communicate.
Yeah. So let's not let this social distancing distance us socially, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's keep it going. If you have prayer requests, if you have like anything,
don't tag me in no shot challenge or selfie challenge.
Yeah. A couple of people have already done that.
I'm not responding to those.
I think you're pretty too, sis. I'm just not. And I'm not taking a shot.
Exactly.
So. But yeah, hopefully you guys are finding productive things to do during this time. Refiguring out some things. Maybe you even figured out like I had multiple streams of incomes and I thought I would be fine, but actually I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about it and
budget tips, anything. We don't got nothing else to do. So
all right.
Huh? Another episode in the books.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Dribble off deuce, ayy. That you might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Dribble off deuce, ayy. that you might work, ayy. That you might work. That you might work.